Oh, damn. We're in trouble now. All right, everybody, welcome back to another edition of We're in Trouble Now, and welcome back, Robert. Welcome to the United States.
Hi again.
Feels good to be back in America.
Does it?
Was it really different?
Yeah, no, it was well, I mean, it was interesting because it was like same but different.
Did they drive on the wrong side of the road?
We drove on the left side.
Yeah.
We drove on the right.
So it's not really wrong. It's more just flipped.
Yeah.
Was it weird?
No,
Were you like,
'cause
get
it's
over?
the same in Africa. So
Oh,
it's
that's
pretty
true.
normal, you know.
Did you have to drive?
No, I don't know how to drive stick. Well, I do, but I don't. It's been like 10 years since I've learned. Because Frankie's Jeep used to be stick.
Yeah.
And that was like, God, I was like 21 when that happened. So it's like over 10 years ago. So I haven't driven stick in 10 years. And it would be on the other side of the road and on the other side of the car.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a problem.
So that'd be like patting your head and rubbing your tummy at the
And
same
he already
time.
drives slow. Could you imagine him never getting out of first gear?
Yeah, Natasha drives really well.
Really?
Yeah, because everybody's car over there is stick shift, and she drives really well. She just like it's no big
So I
deal.
Brandon, I would like to take note that this is the first time Robert has ever complimented somebody's driving.
100%.
Yeah, well, it's because Natasha's a good driver.
So are we.
So are we.
Nope.
Well, I mean,
no. I
so
actually,
am I.
you know what? I will say that there was because I realized there was a couple of instances because I realized Natasha is like a spitting image of all of you. So
Okay.
she's a lot like you. She's more like you than anybody, Brandon. Her driving reminds me a little bit of Mom. And then she reminds me a lot of Barbu. I made her take the Animal and Me personality test, and she's a shrew. You can go and turn that off if you want. It's boiling.
Is it?
You guys want boiling? I mean, we're gonna. I brought Yorkshire tea.
That's not making any noise.
Okay, then keep it going. So I brought Yorkshire tea for you guys to try the tea of Natasha's homeland.
Let me see.
So Brandon, I don't know if you heard this or not, but she is a shrew.
Yeah, she's a shrew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's just Barbu.
Yeah, she's Barbu with an
There was
accent.
a couple of times where she would, I would say something, and obviously it was to like, kind of just like, in England they say taking the piss out of you, so it was more just like fuck around and just kind of like, kind of just
Mess around.
yeah, mess around. And she would shoot me like a shrew look, like Barbu did.
Yeah.
And I get like stopped in my tracks.
I gotta say, the day that she comes at you with really mayonnaise tuna, we have Barbu back.
Yeah, no,
Or
it
a
was-
wooden spoon.
Or a wooden spoon. There was a couple of
Yeah.
times she almost beat me up with a cucumber once. But no, it was a fun time. I had a lot of really. What do you mean?
She almost beat you up with a cucumber.
Yeah, because in England, I didn't realize this until I got there. But like obviously there's some cultural differences, right? So one of the cultural differences is in America we're really friendly, and I thought it would be the latter. I thought England people would be a lot more friendlier than Americans because there's that preconceived notion that Americans are rude or
Yeah.
they're like
We're
kind of
crass,
loud
yeah.
and things like that. But we are in comparison, I think, a lot more friendlier.
See,
so
go
like
ahead.
what?
Sorry. No.
So like, for example, when we got to Natasha's home or, to her city, I was just kind of goofing around and, her mom had picked us up from the train station. She was like, oh yeah, there's that, there's this. I go, hi. Like, there's a store called Little, which is basically like a little supermarket. I go, hi Little. And I was waving and she goes, oh no, don't wave. I go, what do you mean? She goes, if you wave to people, they'll think you're like being rude and they'll tell you to fuck off. And so like, I got like forbidden to wave, and I couldn't say hi to people. I couldn't wave. I don't want to say couldn't. That's not the right word. I was advised not to because people would interpret me as being like
Rude.
Yeah, being rude.
How is that rude though?
Because it's not like a cultural norm over there. So people kind of
right.
mind their own business. Whereas
Yeah.
America, like we wave at everybody. I mean, I was telling Natasha, I could literally drive down the street, honk twice, wave to a random person,
And
they'll
they wave back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like when we drive, anybody who drives down the street, we just wave. I don't even know who they are, but I wave, they wave back.
Yeah.
But you don't get that over
We
there.
should make Natasha when she comes out here, like stand out there and
Yeah,
wave.
that's what I already told her. I was like, we're going to sit in the corner. We're just going to wave at people. And she was like, no.
It's so funny sometimes, like when I'm riding my motorcycle, I'll accidentally, like when I try to change lanes, like little buttons on my left hand.
Yeah.
So like sometimes when like I try to get it back after I change lanes,
Yeah.
I'll hit the horn on accident.
Yeah.
And then if there's anybody walking next to me, they'll look because they'll think that I'm honking at them. And
Yeah.
then I just look at them and I wave.
Yeah.
They wave back and I just keep going.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck it, dude.
I was telling her it's the same thing like with Jeeps. If you have a Jeep like a Wrangler, you just you wave at other Wranglers. If you have like a
I used to
Tacoma,
do
you
that
wave
with
at other
it. Yeah,
Tacomas.
I used to do that with
You
my
can
FJ.
Brandon, go ahead and put the hot water in here. Okay, I'll do it. Keep talking.
So what I'm thinking, Robert, is the next time you go back, you should get like a 10-gallon Texan hat and just go over with the full America persona.
No.
And be like, howdy, partners.
Yeah.
I'm from America.
I don't think they would find that very well, especially since he just said that it was rude to wave at people.
Well, if you're a Texan, you just, you know. Well, you're going to pretend to be from Texas.
Wait, do we have sugar?
Why do you need sugar?
Right.
Put sugar in tea.
No, you don't.
There's sugar in the
I'm
refrigerator.
not putting sugar in my fucking tea.
You have to.
No, you don't. It's like
It's all
black
the way
coffee.
in the very back. So as everybody can tell, and you can hear the rambling around, we are completely set up for this.
100%.
100%. You forgot about the tea, forgot about the sugar. You know, you're going to have a spoon. We have lava hot water.
Take it out.
And Robert yelling at us.
Robert always yells at us.
I said, take it off. You said, no, there was no whistle.
So, Robert, when you irritate me, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to wave at you from now on.
No, I don't want sugar.
You need sugar.
I don't need shit.
I'll do the sugar. And you know what? They put milk in it also.
Not with this.
Oh.
Actually, they do. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, Jiminy
No, fuck
Crickets.
off.
You want milk, Mom?
Yeah, I'll do the full English experience.
Brandon, you need milk. I'm telling you.
I don't need shit. I keep telling you this. I don't need shit.
I have a feeling yours is going to taste
Good.
See, because I actually went to an English tea once. There was an English tea shop in by the car wash.
Okay.
And they put milk and sugar in the tea, so I already knew that. So.
Well, I already knew that they put milk in tea, but like, one, I don't like milk already. Two, I don't like milk in coffee already either.
And apparently in England, they don't have a string for their little tea bag. Oh, you know why?
They do.
They do. Yeah.
He didn't do it right.
And
So
I
it's all
think
in
they
one.
have like a little contraption, don't they, Robert?
No, there's a string in there. You just got to you just get the spoon. You just spoon it out.
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
then you also have to have there's a lid that goes on teapots to what's the word?
To steep it.
Yeah.
What?
Steep it. No, it's to steep. You have
No,
to steep
not a
tea.
steep.
You know, for
It's
somebody
called
who's not
steeping.
drinking tea appropriately, you know a lot about tea.
'Cause I
Isn't
know
it
tea.
steep?
It's
SEE?
steeping.
It's steep. No.
Steep. You're going to steep your...
Okay, we're beside the point. But anyway, no, I had a great time. England was really cool. Natasha was really nice. Her family is fantastic. It was just a really enjoyable time.
To steep tea, pour
Oh, so
hot
it is
water
steep.
over your ingredients and let them rest for a few minutes. Yeah,
so
that's
what
what I'm
is
saying.
it? What is it? Oh, so what? Okay, so like that competition where the horses jump.
Yeah.
Isn't that a steeple race or a staple?
That'd
I don't
Stable. Stable race.
There you
something.
go.
Yeah. Jump.
Yeah. Anyway, no, it was fun. I was telling Brandon that the food was it's gonna be hot, Brandon.
Yeah, it's hot.
The food was good. The best part was eating at her uncle owns a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
The best part was eating at her uncle's restaurant because it's all Indian food, and there's not a whole lot of spicy food over there, which I thought was weird.
See, now I was thinking last night because I never stop thinking, but I think we should do a dance off with
Okay.
Natasha's family.
Well, no.
Yeah, it's like we'll choreograph a dance and then we'll send it to them.
Nope.
And then they choreograph a dance and send it back.
Okay, so Mom had a terrible idea, but she pivoted to something good last night. She was talking about a family Olympics. So I think the next podcast we should do like some sort of like we should enter our own family into an Olympic thing. Like, so we should do something that would like make it Olympic sport.
What? Wait.
Like I don't know, what would be something we could do over the table?
Arm wrestle?
Okay, you're out. So like ring toss or something.
Yeah, or even like the little finger football, like
Finger
table football.
thing. Yeah.
Table football.
Okay, so we're going to compete amongst each other?
Yeah, well, I would be more curious to see how we would do in a team-based setting. That's really the takeaway of it. Is how would the three of us handle a team-based competition?
You know what we can do?
Let's
You
get
know-
badminton.
No.
Okay.
You know what we can do is we can see if you know how like people hold eggs and spoons,
Yeah.
but they put it in their mouth.
Yeah.
So like put the spoon in your mouth, and we'll just hold the egg for however long, and then it's the next person's turn to hold it, and then if somebody drops it,
Yeah, I'm
then
cool with that. Yeah, that's a really good idea.
Yes.
That's something we could do at the podcast,
That's what I'm
not
saying.
play badminton in the house.
yes. Yeah.
So
We could
the difference between a good idea and Mom's idea.
we could take this on the road. We could go outside and see how long we could keep the badminton in the air.
Now, do you think that us playing badminton would transition well to a podcast?
Yeah, because we'd hear. That's the sounds of badminton.
Yep, I missed this.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, because when you were gone, Robert, we didn't have any of the. Oh no, did we pretend to be grumpy at one point?
No.
Yes. We had total. We were. Did you ever listen to any of the podcasts?
I listened to one on the train ride home. So the one that you guys put it on Monday.
Oh, okay. So you haven't heard Wednesday?
No, I haven't heard the other one. I haven't left. I haven't had a reason to like leave. And when I leave is when I listen to podcasts.
Okay, you might want to miss that one.
Yeah,
that
don't even worry about the Wednesday one.
But yeah, no, England was really cool. I got to see the London Bridge.
Yeah.
I got to see the Queen's house. I got to see actual Queen, which was fucking super sick.
Dude, okay, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, that was really cool. Natasha got insane seats.
Really?
Oh, this will pivot to the next thing. But yeah, Natasha got insane seats. We were like, I don't know, maybe like 30 feet from.
Yeah, I saw some of the video.
Adam Lambert and all the the band and things like that. It was really cool. And they like shot the guitarist. I forget his name.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Natasha knows it. It doesn't matter. But he was shooting like fireworks out of his guitar. Brian May.
Yeah.
It was really, really cool. And but it led to something that I can't shake, because now I have a title over in England, and you won't know this, but Mom, you'll know this.
Yeah.
But when we were driving around, right? So it took us an hour to get there. The concert started at 8. Now we got there at like 7:30. We're like, oh, this gives us plenty of time to like get in, everything like that. No, we got there at 7.
Okay.
And so we have an hour to get in the venue. We can't find the parking spots. We drove around. Like, it took us like 3 or 4 times because the GPS was telling us to go the wrong way. We were going left when we should have went right. So we had to circle this giant circle like that's about 4 times. It's getting closer. It's closer to 8. Natasha, you can tell that she's like, okay, I'm ready to not be driving in circles.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to, I don't, know my way around. I've never been to the city before. Mm-hmm. And so we finally find it. And she was like, you could tell she was like, she was like a little bit relieved, but she was still a little stressed because we were running short on time. I was like, it's okay. This scenario has only made us stronger as a couple. We're really good at conflict resolution. And I was trying to like turn the frown upside down. I was trying to like be a little bit more, I was trying to be positive. And she made so much fun of me. She said that I was Parker on Friends. I don't know if you've ever seen that episode on Friends, Mom, but there's an episode where Alec Baldwin is a guest appearance, and he's like super, super positive.
I've seen it.
And he dates Phoebe for like 2 episodes, but Phoebe ends up breaking up with him because he's too positive. And so she calls me Parker now. She goes, my little Parker. Because I'm like, oh, well, like, we could look at the situation 2 ways, right?
Yeah.
We can either be like, oh, fuck, it took us 30 minutes to find a parking spot. Like, this sucks. We're going to be late. Or like, hey, listen, this is how we do in a conflict, like this, or a stressful situation. We keep our heads, we keep it cool. We overcome the situation.
I would like to interject that you're only Parker in England, because when we're traveling and even just trying to find a parking spot at LAX, you're not Parker. You are not.
The last time we went to Santa Ana, I was being very nice to you.
So a lot of times I am very particular about finding a parking spot because, I have a nice car, and I can literally hear his jaw clenching. Damn. Because I want to, find a good spot. Yeah. And so I'm here as well. But I think that's cool that you were.
Well, no, there's a difference between finding our parking spot, because we had reserved a parking spot, right? So we just had to find the parking lot. We weren't nitpicking every spot with our bus-sized SUV.
I still don't see the difference. So what? So Brandon jumped right in.
Yeah. So this tea is pretty famous up north. This is called Yorkshire's tea.
It's pretty good.
Natasha's dad drinks it.
Would you like to try mine?
Nope.
Let me try yours.
Nope.
Is yours not good, Mom?
No, it's good. But I want to taste it.
No.
Try. This is how you're supposed to do it.
No, dude. There's
Why?
milk.
Brandon, there's barely a splash of milk. You have ice cream, right?
The thing is that this has less flavor.
Yeah. Because there's no sugar or milk.
There's no sugar or milk, so it's less flavor.
Yeah, it's perfect flavor for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's bland.
So does this officially make us English?
Not entirely.
Okay.
You still have to I mean, I'm really excited for you guys to come to England. I think you'd really like it. But I think there's still a couple of things. Like I'm not fully immersed in.
Now, being that my family has from England.
Sure. Do you know where from?
The country of England.
Great. Okay. Cool.
And so I think that do I like maybe get like like a little bit more recognition because my DNA test came back so heavily.
Well,
English.
actually, I saw this on a TikTok, but mom has green eyes. Now, genetically, green eyes are the rarest color eyes that you can have. And I think it's about 12% of the population is Germanic. So from Germany, and there's also a high population in Scotland as well, if I believe. So I think if anything, your roots would be more towards Scottish or German.
German. Yeah, because it was French German.
Yeah. So I would argue you're a little more of a Heinz than a Henry.
Then why did we get poop brown eyes?
Because dad has brown eyes, and brown eyes is a dominant trait.
So
Fuck 'em.
Well, but not to say that you carry recessive green eyes, right? So
your child could have
if
green
you were
eyes.
to marry somebody with either green eyes or with a recessive green eye trait, your children could have green eyes. So they would have olive skin and green eyes.
Yeah, but I don't have green eyes, so.
Yes. Okay.
he doesn't care about his kid. He's
I know,
talking about him.
but mom has green eyes, which means you carry the recessive trait,
Which
means,
should have gone to us.
No, that's not what it means.
No, okay.
So,
I like your eyes.
yeah, you have nice eyes. I like brown.
Mm-hmm.
I like brown eyes.
Oh, yeah, so do I. So I'm saying. But I mean, like, it'd be nice to have some green.
What?
Yeah, like one eye green, one eye brown.
Okay.
Yeah. Isn't that song? One eye green, one eye brown girl.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's just brown eyed
No.
girl.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
But yeah, so but yeah, no, it was cool. We got you guys some gifts.
cool.
What do you mean cool?
Cool.
Great.
Wanna get it.
Okay.
So we're going to have Olympic. Now, is Natasha's family going to do the same?
It's
no,
just us.
this
This
is
is
just
just
us.
us.
I
Oh.
don't know why you keep trying to bring in Natasha's family.
Yeah, I don't know
Because
why
I
you're
think
trying to
They're
would-
very
family-
nice. They're really sweet. I love them to death. But please stop trying to enter this
Like family
Challenge them
versus
to a duel.
family
this
thing.
family feud situation.
No, I just thought it would be kind of fun to like do something here and then they try it over there.
Okay, so
it's like a
Natasha
bonding experience.
Natasha has a very large family, so it'll be 3 versus like 9.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Are you okay with those
We're
numbers?
scrappy.
We're not though. We're very uncoordinated. We have
You-
no
I'm just
depth
trying.
perception.
You know what? I'm just trying to unite our families together.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, we can definitely do it without,
Yeah.
battling each other.
Yeah, I mean they love you guys. I mean they follow you on social media.
Okay.
And I kept showing them pictures of Brandon. So they I don't think there's a feud or I don't think there's
I
any
didn't
need
say
to
there
be
was
united.
a feud.
They're very supportive. They love you. So like I don't know where the tension is coming from.
There's no tension.
really
No.
because we've sat down and you've wanted to dance battle them and now you want to enter some sort of badminton tournament.
I'm just saying there would be cool if we could do something together.
Sure.
Maybe
well,
we could start like a
maybe-
paint by numbers picture and then ship it to them and they can fix it.
I think it'd be probably
finish
easier
it.
if you just came to England.
That's what I was
Okay.
about to say.
Yeah.
Like, do something in person instead
Yeah.
of just like,
Okay.
hey.
I think you'd really like England.
I think I would too. And I think that maybe I represented myself wrong.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like trying to challenge him to a duel. I
Really?
was-
Because everything you said up until this point would
Yeah.
contradict your statement.
No,
but
it
I think-
would not.
Okay, but no, they really. I mean, they asked a bunch of questions about you guys, about America. It was really cool. And then,
Now, do a lot of people have tattoos over there?
well, okay, so yes and no, right? So it really depends. Like for example, where Natasha lives is a very high Pakistani English population, and generally as a culture, Pakistani people are Muslim, and in the Muslim faith, you don't mark or alter your skin. So tattooing is taboo in the Muslim faith. So there's not a lot of people with tattoos, particularly where Natasha lives. I didn't really see. It was either feast or famine, right? So there in London, there was either people like covered in tattoos, or they had none.
Yeah.
Not to say that they didn't have it under their clothes, but because it was cold. So I would say, I mean, there's a lot of tattoo shops, so I would imagine that there are predominantly a lot of tattoos.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
How was it like waking up the first morning and then it's insanely cold?
It was weird. I mean, it's just like winter here.
Yeah.
So their summers are winter, right? So
That's
like,
so weird.
so like, I think it would get like around 50 degrees, which is what it gets here, but that's their summer.
Oh, and by the way, he's going back in September, and Natasha's already buying him clothes,
Yeah.
so he doesn't whine about being cold while
yeah.
he's there.
Yeah, because apparently I'm a complainer.
Well,
And
I mean-
she calls me a brat too.
Well, yeah.
Oh, you know what? Okay, so you'll get a fucking kick out of this one. So, her family took me to this really cool like restaurant, and I had already eaten my food, but Natasha's mom was like, "Oh, here, try some more," because she was just being like hospitable, and I didn't want to be rude, so I was like, "Oh, okay." But I was already full, and I hate wasting food. And Natasha said, Natasha and Natasha's dad could tell that like I was like I didn't want to eat anymore, but I was still eating, and she said I was you remember the Grinch? Remember the Whoville cheermeister? How he's like sat there and they're just like force feeding him pudding. She said I look like that, and now she calls me the Whoville.
She's got a lot of nicknames for you.
Yeah, dude, she's like spot on. Her family's sharp as a whip.
She's sassy, dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was cool.
I like this tea, Robert.
It's cool, right?
Yummy.
It's nice,
thank
dude.
you.
It's like calm. It's like, I don't know. It's just really refreshing.
No, I think you guys would like London. London's really cool. It's really clean. And it was weird though because there was a lot of people with French accents there. There's a lot more tourists than there were British people. Like everywhere you went, there was people who were either speaking French or Punjabi, which is like the Indian language, or there was a lot of Americans too.
Really?
Yeah, there was very few British people. But
You couldn't find British people in England.
yeah, so I had to go up north, and when you go up, the farther north you get, the harsher their accent is. So when I got there, I didn't understand anything.
Wow.
I'd have Natasha translate.
See, now if I was going to go to England, I would love to see the English countryside.
Yeah.
You know,
well, because you can take trains everywhere, so your train ride is literally like seeing like the fields and stuff like that. And I think when Natasha's our last day there, we went to York, and York is very like old school, how you would think like England would be, like cobblestones. The buildings are all super close by. We went into a dungeon. It was cool.
How was that?
Okay,
Yeah.
so it wasn't. I thought it would be like, oh, this is where we kept people, but it was like an interactive, like scary, immersive experience. So that it wasn't so much a dungeon; it was like a dungeon type scenario. So there were actors, it was like scenarios, and they were very like immersive. They would pick people out of the crowd. So like for example, there was one where they talked about the plague, and the chick picked me. I had to sit like in this electric chair, and she was like, "This is what we would do if you had the plague." And she simulated hitting me on the head, and it was really cool. It was scary as shit, but it was cool. But yeah, it was cool. So no, it wasn't an electric chair. It was like a type of chair that looked like the electric chair. Okay. And so what she did is she dropped a blanket down, so the rest of the patrons couldn't see me, and you could just see my head, and she was just hitting the wall behind me, so it looked like she was hitting me in the head.
Jesus. That's what they did to people with the plague?
Yeah, things like that, and like
just knock the shit out of you, and hopefully that.
Yeah, well, that's how it was back then. So, yeah, but it was fun. It was scary. It was fun. And then,
really quick, now when you were in London, did you go to that tattoo shop that Austin talked to you about?
No, I forgot about it.
Oh, okay.
Because it was like, dude, honestly, like we would wake up and then we would just do stuff until like 1 o'clock in the night, and then we would just go to sleep. Like it was so busy. We walked around all the time. The food in London was really good. It was cool. So
now when you go back in September, do you just land in London and then take the train?
Yeah, I'm either going to land back in London and then take the train up north, or I'm going to take a little like
commuter
domestic flight. So it's going to be about the same price. It's really going to depend on like how long the layover is between planes, and if it's like quicker, I'll do that. But if not, the train's super easy. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So you guys ready for your present? Yeah. So Mom, this one is for you. This is from Natasha's aunt, Mandy. Oh,
really?
Yeah, Mandy.
I feel kind of bad about challenging him to a dance off.
Yeah. So
thank you,
hope
Mandy.
that sits well with you.
And I like to dance, and I think dancing brings people together.
I think Mandy would dance with you.
Yeah.
She was pretty hip. Okay, so this is for you.
Aw.
So it's a pink bag. Maya, her daughter, dropped it off. But then when they went into town, I told them how much you liked Princess Diana.
Oh yeah.
And Mandy loves the royal family, and so she's a big fan of that.
So it's a really cool little box with new English teas, and it has Princess Diana all over it.
That's like really cool.
Like, yeah.
Like a really cool tin to keep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know what? I just have my
What's in it? Oh, just tea bags?
Just tea bags. Yeah, because I have other tea bags that I just don't. It's locked. But yeah, I remember actually. I woke up.
Yeah, I told her that you stayed up all night watching the funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was the Queen's Jubilee when I was there. So the Queen had been ruling for 70 years.
70 years, yeah.
Which is the longest English monarch in history.
Yeah. And little did they know, but I was in the United States reading everything I could. Yeah. I already know that Prince Louis was acting up on the balcony and making faces. And
during the funeral?
No, this was during the Jubilee.
Yeah.
And did you know that they actually hire lip readers to try to see what they're actually saying when they're on the balcony.
Oh, really?
People, like, people
To make sure that they're not like saying anything bad.
Just out of curiosity, because people are just,
They're
it's
fascinated by
fascinated by the monarchy. So
Let me get a knife. Let me open that for you.
Oh, okay.
You got a knife?
Yeah. So I
Oh,
absolutely.
that's another thing too. Is that's illegal in England. Like carrying a pocket knife is illegal. Isn't that wild? Yeah. Yeah. So like, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I absolutely, I love that. And I remember when they got married and she had babies and, she danced with John Travolta at the White House.
Oh, did she?
I've seen some pictures about
Yeah. It was just such a, I don't know. It was such a fairy tale that just was tragic. And
Yeah.
So,
Well, Harry and Meghan live in San Jose.
yeah, they're selling their house.
Are they really?
That is just really weird how it's like, it's like he left, he's still a prince, but he's not an active prince.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about it.
Yeah. Oh no, I stalk them.
Yeah. So Mandy got that for you.
Thank you very much, Mandy. I will put this out and I'll put my tea bags
Maya,
in there.
Yeah.
trying to get all the sticky stuff
Yeah.
off of it.
Oh yeah.
Now, I'm sure, is there bags in there or is it just full of tea?
There had to be bags.
Okay. They don't have loose tea.
I don't think that. If they did, it'd be weird.
Feels like bags.
Yeah. I can't imagine it not being bags.
So the crinkling is me opening this up
Why don't you just use Brand's knife?
because it's in his pocket.
This podcast is so. We did not plan any of it.
No.
I know, but that's real life.
Sometimes you just gotta go with whatever.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, the little tea bags.
little tea bags, but there's no string.
Yeah, because you just fish it out like I did.
Yeah. Thank you very much again.
Okay, so Brandon, you guys ready for your next gift?
Well, I mean,
Yes.
my first gift.
Wow. Fucking scumbag.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, so this next one, Natasha actually, it was just her idea. So we drove to York, which was an hour away, and we went to this really, 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 really famous little. It's not a little market. It's a little shop that we had to wait in line like 30 or 40 minutes to get into because it's like that famous. Now, from what I understand about York, it's one of the most haunted places in England. Just because of I think
That's how old it is.
yeah, how old it is, what happened. York is really, I guess, apparently there's a lot of Viking history, so there's a lot of Viking conflict. The plague was there,
Yeah.
so there's a lot of haunted deities there. And Natasha had found this thing called the York Ghost Merchant, where they sell handmade, custom, one of a kind little ghost figurines. And we went to York and we bought them. And I got some for you guys.
Okay.
So there's 3 of them in here. I don't remember which ones are which. So you guys can open up all 3 and I'll tell you who gets what.
Okay.
Or you guys can choose. It doesn't really matter.
Huh.
No,
Oh,
we can
that's
do
really cool.
for.
So these are one of a kind. They're made in-house. And there's never going to be another one like this color.
So it says the York Ghost Merchant.
Yeah. So it's...
Dude, this is a cool little box.
Isn't it
I
rad?
know.
Like it's like a tiny little house.
Yeah.
Like it looks like a tiny small house.
Yeah.
I was gonna say just be careful when you open it up. And
So each one is custom made.
Okay. All right. So we're opening it up. Let's see what's going on.
Yep. Natasha has one too.
I'm trying not to rip the top
You want to open it for you?
because like it's almost like it's pressing against that stuff, and I really just don't want to.
Okay,
Oh,
Brandon,
there we go,
Brandon,
there we
so
go.
this one's yours.
Okay.
oh wow,
That
look
one's
how
mine.
cute.
Yeah, and
That
then
one's-
that one's mom's.
Okay. So this is mom.
So that's yours.
Yeah.
So now, does the ghost have a story?
No, the ghost is whatever you want. So they said when you walk in, right? They say the ghost will speak to you, and so you get the ghost that is meant for you.
This thing is sick
Isn't that
looking,
cool?
dude.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like
Oh wow.
it's all like polka dot in a
Yeah.
sense. Well, like kind of just black paint spot. That's
Yeah.
really cool too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
This is
mine
really
is
awesome.
kind of a real dark gray, but it has a marbling that almost looks like a landscape.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, and so what it is, so since you all can't see it, it's kind of like a real cool. Imagine like a ghost with a sheet over there, kind of
Yeah,
like
that's
a
exactly
sheet,
what it is,
kind of
yeah.
like a flowing with the two eyes, and it's really cool.
And he makes these by hand.
Yeah, they don't know how they're made. It's like a secret. They won't ever tell you how they're made, and they're custom dipped. or they're custom. They dip them.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, if you go into that shop and if you find 2 of the same ones, you get them for free because you'll never be able to find one.
Really?
So there'll never be another ghost like that.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's so crazy.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
And it's actually like a tiny little shop.
Yeah, it's a tiny little shop. So
That's
if,
really
if you guys
cool.
ever come to England, I'll take you and you guys can get another one.
Okay. Yeah, dude, that's fucking sick.
Yeah, it's super
now,
cool.
let me ask you: when you walked in there, did you like feel anything, or was
Yeah.
it like?
Well, not like ooh, but like there's hundreds and hundreds of these little figurines, and they just kind of pop out at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really cool.
That's so sick.
Yeah, is that
dude.
right?
Yeah, these little things are dope.
Yeah, thank you. And did you see on the box it says "Good fortune and fortitude"?
Yeah.
No, dude, I think the boxing is so
Yeah, the
rad
boxing's
for these
really
things.
cool, right? Yeah, so that if you guys ever come down to London or England, there's like a whole bunch of other things we can do, and it's really fun.
Yeah, no, dude, I think
Yeah.
England sounds really dope.
Yeah, I think you'd like it. People are mean and crass, and they don't like talking.
Oh, dude,
So it's
that's
right up your
perfect.
alley.
See, but
That's
okay,
perfect.
so I'm gonna have to like practice.
You'll have to dial it back. Brandon will feel like he's home. Yeah.
I will have to dial it back. I'll be like, I'll walk in and be like, "Hi, everybody."
Yeah, because that's what I did at first, right? I'm like, "Hello, everyone," and they're like, And apparently, my mustache is not. I was telling Brandon this is not common there, so people kept staring, and like school children. Like we went to a museum, and people would school children would like walk by, and they'd all stop and stare. And apparently, this is not a very well-known mustache. Apparently, it's really common in India, but it's not in England.
Yeah, see, I thought like in England there would
That's what I
be
thought
just
too.
the
Yeah.
coolest beards.
I thought
and
I'd blend
mustaches,
in. Yeah,
in the
Nope,
world.
completely opposite.
See, because I was just wondering, because like we're pretty heavily tattooed,
Yeah.
how people would be like,
People I don't think really because everybody minds their own business, so
Yeah.
nobody would say anything.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's crazy.
"These
though.
are really cool. Thank you."
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I really like this ghost. I think it's so like I don't know. I just think the boxing is really rad.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah, you should put your ghost on top of your box on your fireplace or something.
I'll just put it. Yeah, I'll put the box next to it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
put it on the box.
Yeah, they're cool looking.
Yeah.
No, dude, this thing's sick. I don't know. I just think the box looks really. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time, Robert.
Yeah, it's
You
fun,
know,
yeah.
I'm glad you traveled safely. I'm glad you're
Yeah.
back.
Super easy. It's just one plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, at least it seemed like those like 2 weeks went by really quick.
Yeah. They flew by for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to be gone for 3 weeks next time.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I
cool.
leave in September. So
Pretty much like the whole month of September.
yeah, so I'll be September 6th to the 27th, and then Natasha's coming here. I think the end of October.
Okay. So then you're gonna go up, and then once you come back, she's gonna come down.
Yeah, exactly. And then we're gonna go to like Disneyland and do all that other stuff. Her family's trying to convince her to go camping, and she was like, "No, nope,
Dude.
nope, nope."
Why?
She's just not a campy person. And
Why
I-
not just go to Santee?
Well, if it's a tent and doesn't have running water, I just don't think it's her bag.
See, I think in all fairness, I mean, because like when she comes out, I think y'all should just take like a drive up to Julian
Yeah.
and just let her see what,
Well, I was thinking about getting like a cabin up in Big Bear because it'll
Yeah.
be like early November, so it'll be nice and cold. There might
Yeah.
even be snow.
Yeah.
I don't know about snow, but
think so? Not in
no,
November?
No, not in November.
Even Idlewild, that's where Auntie Vicky had her honeymoon
Yeah.
at the Strawberry
Yeah, we could do that,
Strawberry
too.
Inn.
Yeah.
Kind of like a little bed and
Yeah, that would
breakfast,
work, too.
something like that.
So
Wow.
she's gonna have a really fun time. We're just not taking her camping,
Dude,
so.
if you go past Idlewild,
Yeah.
like the city and everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like how you kind of just drive through and like
And
you're
it
gonna
kind
go.
of forks.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
like you kind of go over to Suicide.
Yeah.
Suicide Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like a hike up there.
Yeah.
If you keep going up, there's actually a small little like I wouldn't say pond, but
Yeah.
like
You talk about while we're actually hiking.
no, I meant just if you keep going through Idlewild.
Like if you
Oh,
drive.
okay.
Yeah, so if you
Yeah.
if you go through Idlewild, you kind of just go down for like another 15 20 minutes,
Yeah.
and then you come up on like a small little I'm just gonna say pond, fuck
Sure,
it, like
sure.
a small little pond, and
A
you can
body
just
of water.
yeah, and you can go over there and just walk around it and shit. It's actually pretty sick.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you can fish in there too.
Cool.
I need a
I don't
fish.
think she'll be fishing, but yeah.
That's okay. I
Yeah.
wanna fish.
So I'm excited that you're gonna, that it all worked out. You're going back, and
Yeah.
because I mean personally, Robert, Brandon, and I talked about this on the last podcast, but we really, while I missed you tremendously,
Mhm.
it was really good to know that I was perfectly
Yeah.
perfectly
Yeah, you guys
fine.
didn't call me with any like we're on fire kind of situation. So
Yeah.
you guys seem like you're pretty self-sufficient.
because it just in case you don't know, if you're out there listening, Robert does live, and I live together. Brandon has his own apartment.
Yeah.
And it's just my biggest fear is you thinking that you can't move on or something.
Sure.
So it's a fear of mine.
Okay.
So it felt really good to know, like, hey, you know what?
You can survive.
I'm totally fine.
Yeah.
You know. So to me, it was really cool.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I missed you,
Sure.
but it's not like I was unable to function.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you guys are just roommates.
Well, I mean, yeah, sure. She's also my mom.
Well, yeah, but I'm just
So.
saying.
Yeah, but I just know sometimes you have an immense amount of, you feel like you have responsibilities.
Yeah.
that-
Well, I do.
Well, and I know, and I appreciate, and while I appreciate that, I don't want you to hold yourself back thinking that you have responsibilities that you don't need to worry about.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
In a very roundabout way. Yeah.
I thought it did.
Yeah.
I got lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have some exciting news.
Yeah, tell them.
The exciting news is that we will be adding to our family in 2 weeks. We went and picked out a new puppy,
Yes, yeah.
and she's a pit bull, and she's 6 weeks old now. So when we pick her up, she'll be 8 weeks old,
Mhm.
and she's gray and white with a
Mhm.
little black nose, and she's adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other one with like, I don't know, once we saw like the tan one,
Mhm.
once kind of like I saw a couple of markings, I was like, dude, that looks almost exactly like Liberty.
Well, the thing is too is if that dog was to get, but when that dog gets older, it'll lighten up and it'll look just like Liberty.
Oh yeah, dude.
You know.
I mean,
Yeah.
plus she
So.
also had like her tail dipped as well,
Yeah.
like
That's
her
what
little
I
paws,
looked for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like her the little white patch on like her forehead and
Yeah.
everything. It almost looked exactly
It
the same.
was too much like Libs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But I like her pink nose. Like
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Oh wait,
See,
no,
now
sorry, that was
Liberty
other
had
one.
a pink nose.
No. Yeah, I was thinking
This
about.
one
I was,
had a black nose.
I was thinking about that other.
You're talking about the new one.
Yeah, but the other one that
Yeah.
you guys were looking
Because
at.
that one was almost like a fawn color.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. You mean the first one that we thought we were
Yes.
going to get?
Yeah.
Oh,
Because there
sure.
was like that white kind
Yeah.
of tannish looking one,
Mhm.
but it had like just a straight pink nose. That's
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
I was at.
No, I think it's gonna everything worked out well. The guy
Mhm.
seems cool. The dogs seem rad. The dog we went and drove to him, so we picked up the puppy. It's actually real, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be a good fit.
It's not too far.
It's an hour and some change.
Mhm.
Okay. It's not too bad.
No,
Yeah.
it's, if, as long as I think if he's like, oh, pick it up Monday. I think if you guys went Monday morning, you'd be fine.
Yeah.
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 Hmm.
And then it's just because Liberty was 13 years old. It's
Mhm.
been a long time since I've had a puppy.
Yeah, so I was telling Brandon, and I think especially with this dog, because we've seen the parents, the dad is huge, the
Yeah.
mom is a really good size. I think even pregnant and everything like that, the mom is still heavier than Liberty ever was.
Mhm.
So this dog's gonna be huge,
Yeah.
right? So I think we have to be really, really proactive in the beginning to condition the dog and train the dog to succeed in life. Because the last thing I would want is to have a dog that's so big that's uncontrollable
Oh, yeah.
or
Yeah.
doesn't have the training or the drive to like behave itself. Because Brandon, you don't live here anymore. I'm traveling a whole lot, so mom is really going to have to handle the dog
Yeah.
primarily by herself. And the dog's only going to get bigger, and mom's only going to get older. So we got to make sure the dog is well behaved enough to like not pull mom off
Yeah.
her feet or anything like that.
So would you want to train the dog yourself, or would you want to rather like just go to like PetSmart and just have
See, I'd be more than comfortable training the dog ourselves because it's
Okay.
really more of developing that bond.
Yeah.
And conditioning the dog to be responsive.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's nothing, we're going to teach the dog really early on, how to
Mhm.
walk on a leash, simple commands, and just being a lot more stimulated.
Yeah.
And I think where we failed with Liberty is because we were, either at school and you
You
were
were
single,
younger.
you were a single mom working. So Liberty is left alone at her house or at the house. And so she didn't have a whole lot of stimulation going for her. And so she like didn't know what to do with all the energy. So she would like just bite random shit. So
Mhm.
whereas I feel like now where we're older, we have a lot more free time. We'll be able to, make sure the dog is stimulated both physically and mentally by either working it or
Mhm.
making it, to go for runs or
Yeah.
walks and things like that.
That's
So I think the dog is going to be in really good shape.
yeah.
And I was actually thinking about it last night because, and everything you say is absolutely true. But I looked back like where I was with Liberty to where I am now, and my
Yeah.
energy is completely different.
Sure.
I was drinking back then.
Yeah.
I mean, I I was like trying to train a dog drunk.
Yeah.
And it was just, and Liberty turned out to be such an amazing dog, regardless as to how she started.
Yeah, I think we just got really lucky with Liberty.
Yes.
She was one of a kind. We'll never find another dog as comparable to her. But like you say, though, like we kind of, Liberty kind of basically trained herself.
Yes. So, but I am very excited to go into this new adventure with this new puppy with my new energy.
Yeah, totally.
And you know what? And you're absolutely right, Robert. I mean, I can't sit there and be like, I'm going to ignore the dog for 8 hours. I mean, once she's completely vaccinated and she can go for walks, she'll be walking with me because I walk almost 4 miles every day now. Yeah. And until then, we're going to have little play times outside to where, she can learn to fetch a ball or, and I know sometimes, Robert, you worry about me, like I'm going to just be a goober and like everything you're trying to do, I'm going to be weird and undo it. And that's not my intent.
That's understandable.
That's not what I want.
Yeah, I know. And I think sometimes especially, I already know it, but like I don't come across gently where I kind of just like, I'm really abrupt and I'm to the point to it, it's almost mean. And, and where we've had disagreements before is because, Liberty got a little anything and everything that we had, right? So if we ate food, Liberty ate food, kind of thing. And I think with this dog in particular, we'll have to see what its drive is, whether it be food motivated or like treat or toy motivated. Figure out what's driving it, and we got to basically reward the dog for being a good, for exhibiting good behavior.
Yeah.
So if we're feeding the dog, or if we're giving the dog what it's working for kind of rewarding it for bad behavior, is going to develop bad habits.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I think as a family, we need to be a little bit more cognitive on when and where we give the dog food.
See, now
exactly.
See, the whole thing is like, yes, I 100% did that with Liberty because Liberty 100% was towards her later stages in life. That is absolutely.
There's a difference.
Yes.
That's 100%. I agree with you.
Yes. And I 100% am not going to, hey puppy, I'm having a burger, so you're having it with me.
Yeah.
I don't want that because then it becomes obsessive because she, like you said, she's going to be a big dog and I don't need to be sitting here trying to fight my dog for my food.
Exactly.
And I think what Robert's also like, the point is that he's trying to get to is like, say if you even were walking, and like, let's just say it's like 10 years from now or something, and like you go for a walk with the puppy and then the puppy just sees something and then bolts. I mean, you're going to be a little bit older. So it's just going to, like, I think he's like saying, train it for when
exactly, yeah. And so the reasoning behind everything too is like, if the dog is going to be rewarded for good behavior with food, so we don't want to be giving the dog random food for not exhibiting good behavior, or else it'll lose that drive.
But I know that. But again, it's like, I don't want you to think like what I was doing for Liberty is going to carry over to the puppy.
Oh yeah, no.
Because
no.
I mean, as far as I was concerned, every day that Liberty was alive was like a here's whatever you want kind of
and like
food.
I said, Liberty was like I said, she's a 1 in a million dog we'll never get another dog as good as Liberty. So Liberty earned that reward for being just her. She never ran away. She hardly ever barked. She never bit anybody. She was incredibly loyal, incredibly friendly. Super, super great dog. And we rewarded that good behavior with food. I just want to make sure that because we don't know, this puppy's basically, it's a clean slate. And I just want to make sure if we're going to train it to behave, we're going to use food as a motivator.
See, and I have to, and where I'm already in my mindset is I have to train this dog as I'm the pack leader, And I mean, I know that you're here too, but when you're not here.
Sure. Well, so it's not so much of a hierarchy thing. It's more of a trust thing.
Yeah.
So the dog has to trust you and to know that, hey, listen, everything that this person has said is something that's going to help me or I get rewarded for listening to this person.
Yeah.
So it's not so much of a dominance thing. It's more of okay, I trust this person. Right.
But also too, it's like, because I mean, I can't have it be where this dog is out of control in my house.
Yes. Yeah. That's why the emphasis on rewarding it with food is you reward it for good behavior to curb the bad.
Right. And I get that. But what I'm trying to say is, it's like, I know that you're worried that, I mean, and I totally get it because with Liberty, she was that, but I have to make sure that from the get-go, the dog, if I tell it to do something, it's going to do it.
Well, we all have to do that. It's
Yeah.
not just you at
Yeah.
that point. So at that point, it wouldn't be just a hierarchy. It would be a part of the family.
Well, okay, so I guess also
Because-
the thing is,
Because what I think is like mom's trying to get at is like, let me be like the hierarchy so that when you're gone, the dog will listen to me. But
I totally get
but
it.
at the same time, it's like the dog has to listen to
I
everybody.
totally get it.
Yeah.
But the whole dominance hierarchy thing it's actually disproven.
Well, yeah,
so
that's
that there's really not such of a dominant alpha trait. It's more of a trust thing. So like
That's what I'm
they've
saying.
already exhibited this, that like the pack leader is just the mom and dad. So it's generally a
Yeah.
family dynamic.
Yeah.
So it's usually just, it's the older giving
Yes.
influence. The pack leader and dominance thing, I think, is going to hurt us in the long run, because I've been watching a lot of videos on dog training, on like how to exhibit good behaviors, good motivators, and a lot of it's leash control, a lot of it is positive reinforcement, a lot of it is treat, drive, motivators. So we're basically going to have to relearn how we train the dog to keep the dog successful in the long run.
Yeah, and I think I came across wrong. I didn't
Yeah.
want to come in like I'm dominant,
Sure,
and go
yeah.
in and like try to kick the dog around.
Exactly,
or something.
because a lot of it too is the videos I've been watching is dogs are really, really intelligent. They can actually read your facial patterns, so they can exhibit what emotion or how you're feeling by reading your facial cues, and how you speak to the dog is really, really important in terms of reinforcing positive behavior.
Yeah.
So if you tell the dog to sit, they're going to think, oh, fuck, I'm a bad dog. Like, oh, no. And then they're going to start getting anxiety. They're going to start getting like a little bit more like resentment, where if you're like, hey, sit, and you reward that good behavior of them sitting, you're going to get a lot farther in terms of results. So in terms of, I think what we have to do is really just have to focus on rewarding the dog for good behavior, so the dog trusts us to know that hey, listen, dude, don't worry about thinking. We're going to think for you. Like, we got you covered. So the dog can put all its faith in us, and it'll listen to our commands.
Yeah. And that's, like I was saying earlier, it's like I feel like my energy is different than it was. And,
Absolutely.
And you know what? And I think that we're all in a really good spot, that no matter, who's here, we're going to just kind of have that whole, that whole like collective of how we're going to raise the puppy.
Sure. Yeah. The only downside that I have to us being here all the time is I'm worried about the dog having the dependence, or the dog developing some sort of anxiety when we're away. So we have, again, that's something that I've been watching videos on, that we'll just have to help train the dog. Yeah. So like, hey, I'm going to leave, but I'll be back. And the dog's be like, oh, okay, cool, dude.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm thinking that we need to, I don't like crating my dogs, but, I do want to, and I was very worried about that too, Robert, because when I am here by myself and I have to go to the store, I want the dog to know I'm going to come back.
Sure.
So that's why I was thinking about maybe getting like a baby gate and giving her this area.
To be honest with you, I've been watching videos about that too. And putting your dog in a crate is neither good nor bad. It depends on the person and depends on the situation. What I was watching some videos about is the crate is actually in a lot of ways positive to the dog, because the dog's like, okay, this is my safe space. This is where I can go to relax. This is like my panic room, where I can just kind of like, this is where I know I can relax, and it almost relieves a lot of anxiety. But you can train the dog to do what you would do in a crate versus like a dog bed. So you could do the same thing to like the dog bed we have in the computer room. We can just be like, hey, listen, I'm leaving, but I'm coming back, and it's gonna, if you, with enough positive reinforcement, the dog's not gonna have a problem. The important part is setting those foundations early on, so that it doesn't become a problem later on.
Okay.
So now, do you think we should get a big crate for her, or
It's completely up to you. I mean, there's really no right or wrong answer.
See, because I'm open.
If you're not a crate person, we don't have to crate.
But the thing is like, but I'm open to learn.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit there and be like, no, this is my preconceived notion, so I'm not.
No, I think we're perfectly fine without it, because you can do the same things that you can do in the crate to a dog bed.
Okay.
So the dog, when the dog knows, hey, listen, this is where I'm gonna go to relax, she just goes to the dog bed. It's the exact same type of training, just not as rectangle. It's not an enclosed space.
Yeah.
Well, if she starts eating the house when we're gone,
sure,
we will need to.
Well, that comes down to being overstimulated and not having a release, right? It's the exact same thing. Like, like when you sit down for a long time, you're like, fuck, dude, I just want to get up. I gotta go. I'm gonna move some energy. Yeah. It's the same thing with the dog. the dog is gonna, it doesn't know what to do with all that energy, especially because it's a puppy. It's got all that, pent up, like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. It like, that's why it chews on things. They dig. They kind of like they misbehave because they don't know how to displace this
energy,
all this energy, all this, I don't want to say anxiety, but all this movement, which is why it's important to stimulate them both physically and mentally. So that's why training is such a big part too, because when you're training, the neurons in your brain burn so much energy, they tire the dog out. That's why you can only work a dog for like 15, 20 minutes a day because it's so mentally tiring. So you combine that with a little bit of physical exercise, and the dog shouldn't have a problem chewing up anything.
And I already know, like, we don't want the dog chewing on us.
Yeah.
Right?
So you would curb that. Early too.
Okay. So then when you do the training, you also like kind of play with the puppy as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We develop that bond, right?
Yeah.
So like that's another thing too, is people are like, oh, I'm going to train my dog. And like, you have to make it rewardable for the dog. The dog has to want to do it. And the best way to do it is positive reinforcement. Like, dude, let's turn this into a game, right? Let's have a good time doing this. And the dog's like, so this way the dog knows every single time you're training, okay, I'm going to have a great time. Yeah. It's going to be positive reinforcement. It's going to be food. It's going to be toys. It's going to be scratches. It's going to be a good time. So you it's like, I would say it's more of a playing with reinforcing positive behavior. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing it's going to do is just be a lot more positive in the end.
Yeah, exactly. And even, I mean, I was completely wrong. Just watching these videos, I was completely wrong with how I held the leash for Liberty. When I was holding Liberty, I was stern, I was tight, like I was the dog can really pick up on where the leash is and how you hold it. Right. And so I've been watching a lot of videos on leash control. I've been watching a lot of videos on corrective control. So the dog really shouldn't have any physical like pushing drive, because if you train it early, it's just going to walk right next to you.
Yeah. And that's going to be really important, because I do want to be able to go on walks. And like I was on one of my walks, I went around the corner, and this lady came around the corner. She had a big old pit bull. Yeah. And so I'm like, hey, is your dog friendly? Yeah. Because I wanted to pet him. And she's like, he's super friendly, but I can't control him. And he's really super strong. Yeah. But I mean, so I was very respectful, and we talked for a little bit. But I'd like to, definitely be able to like not have to.
Totally. Well, that comes all down to the owner exhibiting negative reinforcement when it comes to training the animal, right? So for example, let's say Brandon, let's say you and I are walking opposite sides. We're going to meet each other soon. I have the dog. You are just walking. Yeah. If I go, hey, whoa, hey, the dog's going to anticipate that choke every single time they see somebody coming their way. So they're going to start building anxiety every single time somebody comes their way. So they're naturally going to associate another person coming with this negative pulling on their collar. So they're going to start getting anxious. They're going to start getting a lot of anxiety. Same thing you do with other dogs, right? Another dog comes, hey, yeah. You kind of pull it back. So the dog's getting all this anxiety. They're like, hey, listen, when there's another dog here coming, you start getting like this built up, not aggression, but you get a lot of anxiety, and that's why they lash out. That's why they jump or bark and things like that.
So let me ask you this. When I was walking Liberty, like if somebody were walking towards us, I mean, I just automatically cross the street. Totally. But if I didn't have that opportunity, I always just kind of like pushed her over with my leg a little bit, and I got between her and the other person. But I never, is that the right thing to do?
Yeah, absolutely. I would do that. Okay. Yeah. And that's another good motivator too, is you can push I won't say push, but you can steer your dog with your leg. That's definitely another sign of like, dogs do that. Yeah. So dogs will do that to other dogs. Just pushing and nudging is perfectly normal. Yeah.
It was kind of like, hey, you know what? I'm going to be between you and what's coming our way.
Yeah. There's a huge difference between like, hey, or like, hey, there's a difference between getting pushed, just a small little nudge, and then getting your collar choked. Yeah. Or you're pulling on your collar.
So now what do you think about, because I know Liberty was so strong. We had that pinchy collar. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
It's completely, there's pros and cons to it all, right? So the prong collar versus like a choke chain versus a harness.
I don't like the choke chain.
The choke chain, I think out of all the ones, the choke chain is the hardest. Yeah. And I think it's the most cruel to the animal. The prong collar is more of just little dots, but it's more of a corrective behavior than it is a punishment. Yeah. So instead of being like, hey, and if you're pulling so hard that it's hurting the dog, you're something's obviously wrong, right? Either your dog is not having enough, your dog's not trained well enough to behave. It's more of a correction. Yeah. Hopefully, if the training goes successful, I don't imagine us even would even need to like really, really pull on the prong collar. But if I had to choose one, I would choose the prong collar. They also have what's called, I think it came over here in one of the packages. It's called a slip collar. So it's just like, it's kind of like a choke chain, but it's like a little linen string. So it's not as aggressive as a choke chain. It's more of just like a rein than anything.
Yeah. So instead of like squeezing, it just tightens a little bit.
Yeah. It's just like, instead of like choking, it's like a squeeze. It's more of just like, hey, it's just like, hey, we're going this way. And a lot of it too is your dog, hopefully ideally we can train the dog so well that the collar is gonna be more of just a correction than it is a punishment. And
it's like, oh, I feel a tug, I'm doing something, or I got to correct it just
a
little bit.
Yeah. Like, hey, knock it off. And it's not a, hey, knock it off. It's just, I was watching a lot of videos. It's just a flick of a wrist. Yeah. It's just like, hey, look up here. Like, hey, like it's exact same like doing like that.
Yeah, because I know Liberty had the pinchy collar, and it never hurt her.
No, because it's not designed to choke. It's not designed to restrict the airway.
And I guarantee you, if Liberty had wanted to, she would have just, that pinchy collar never would have stopped her.
Yeah, well, because you got to think, obviously it's going to be a little discomfort, but it's discomfort to a degree. It's not to the degree of a choke chain where the choke chain restricts airflow.
Yeah.
The prong collar has a certain amount of prongs with every like 3 or 4 inches.
Yeah.
So it's more of a corrective way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I already know, getting a pit bull, you have certain...
you have a responsibility.
You have a lot of responsibilities. Yeah. And having a really big one has even more. Yeah. So I'm really glad that we had this conversation because I think that sometimes you worry about me kind of going like a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Yeah. And I don't... The most important is the dog and the dog's safety.
And I think where I was not... Where I failed in terms of communicating is I was anticipating you treating the dog exactly like you would Liberty instead of treating it like it's a new dog.
Yeah.
And I think I got very standoffish and I didn't communicate it well enough to voice my concerns.
Yeah.
Because what I was concerned the most about, what I was concerned the most about is if we spoiled the dog and we got rid of all of its motivation. Right. So if it had no drive to want to learn, like, I'm not going to do, why do I got to sit? She's going to feed me anyway.
Yeah. No.
So if that drive or that motivation's gone, then I would worry about the training regressing.
Yeah. No, absolutely 100%. And I can understand how you would be, you would think that. But like, even when Brandon and I, when we had Liberty at the very end at the hospital, the doctor asked me like, well, what is she eating? And I was already like, well, I'm sorry, but I do this. And she's like, no, you should, you know, you know what? Every day is a gift. Yeah. She could get whatever she wanted. And I know I cannot carry that over to the new puppy. It's starting
at least not
fresh.
right away. I mean, like when the dog gets older in the years, kind of like how Liberty was like, yo, dude, like, you're good.
Yeah. Like at that point, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Because we're not reinforcing bad behavior. Yeah. So because it's so fun. It's just like a child, right? Yeah. Fundamentally, if you spoil the kid, or if you don't, I don't want to say train the kid, but if you don't associate positive behavior with reinforcement, then you're going to get a negative reaction.
Yeah. I mean, that's why like most kids, whenever they kind of get like either bratty or really loud, it's just because you know, it's something that they always do and they never got corrected.
Well, that's 100. That's literally 100%, right? So that's the exact same thing as a dog chewing up something versus a kid screaming. It's like, hey, look at me. They just have so much energy they can't control it. Yeah. Right? It's the exact same scenario, but applied to a dog versus a baby.
Yeah, because I'm actually really looking forward to just having an amazing companion, because this is the first puppy I've gotten sober. Yeah. And so to me, it's like a really cool, it's really cool. And so Brendan, my question to you is now, are you going to be able to come over and play and help train the puppy?
I mean, yeah, when I have time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
Well, I want you to be able to come over and be like, hey, I'm going to play with the puppy for 30 minutes.
Yeah, I don't mind doing that. I mean, even though I'm not going to be here all the time, doesn't mean that I'm also not going to be like, hey, we got to train the dog. Like, cool, I'll come train with you. Or like something like that.
It shouldn't feel like a chore. It should be more of like, yeah, dude, I'm going to hang out with this dog.
Yeah, that's kind of like where I was saying. It's like if you're at home, you're like, oh, I feel like having puppy time,
Yeah, I can go over and just play with the puppy if I wanted to. Yeah. No, of course I knew that. Like, I mean, that's just...
I don't want it to be like, oh my God, it's Brendan Brandon's 30
well,
minutes.
we were talking before you showed up, but Brandon's really excited to get back more into structure of his day.
Mm-hmm.
And if it works out, and he's like, oh, I finished up this early, I got a little bit of time, and he was like, might as well go over. Then you can come over, but don't ever feel like you're obligated.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Like I'm not gonna feel it as like, oh, it's something I have to do.
Exactly.
It's more like, okay, if I have time in my day that I can, go spend real quick and do something positive, then yeah, of course I'll do it.
Yeah, that's just, I kind of wanted to make sure that you knew like that was there.
Yeah. No,
you know
of
what I
course.
mean? Because I know that you are both getting older, and I know that the opportunities for us to do things are becoming fewer and farther between.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really important, and just to kind of feel like, have at least the puppy. We all have a sense of like this dog is all a part of us.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we would ever not feel that.
I know.
So I think, especially if you're like, hey, Brandon, I need you to come over and spend time with this dog. And I think, again, we're going to associate negative emotions with the dog. Whereas,
no, I wasn't.
Okay. I'm just saying that Brandon will find time when he can. And he's going to watch the dog a lot when we go travel.
Yeah. Like when you guys go to San Francisco and stuff, I'll probably bring Pam over.
Yeah.
In her kitty box and just...
Or bring the dog over to your house. So this way, I think...
I was thinking about that.
I think that'd be better.
See, I could, but the thing is that I don't want to get the dog fleas because there's also other dogs. And if I have to go take the puppy to the bathroom, I have to go into the grass with everybody else.
Well, we're going to be a lot more proactive in getting the dog out and about. So the dog should already have flea and tick medicine.
Repellent?
Yeah. See, because until she is fully vaccinated, she's going to be, if she goes over, she would be on puppy pads.
Yeah. I would set her up and put her out in the sunroom.
And I would think this would help Pam more in the long run because Pam's more familiar with your apartment than she would be this house.
Yeah.
That's a good
So
point.
you're basically throwing Pam into an unfamiliar house with unfamiliar smells with a dog that she's never seen before. And she's like, oh my God.
See, I just don't want Pam to beat the shit out of the dog.
Well, it'll be fine.
I know. See, like, I have to go get...
I don't think Pam's aggressive enough. I think if Pam's like, oh, no, we're good, she's going to regress and she's going to go someplace where she's comfortable.
Yeah.
Versus if you brought her over here, she's like, I have no fucking idea what
And also, too, if the puppy is like, hey, I'm going to play with you, and Pam's like, no, you're not, then Pam, I want the dog to learn that Pam's not a chew toy.
Yeah.
So Pam absolutely has every right to defend herself.
Oh, no, 100%. I got to go get her groomed and, like, her nails trimmed before the puppy even comes over just because her fucking claws are insane.
But Pam's not an aggressive cat. She doesn't scratch you, does she?
No, not to an extent. But like, she doesn't even have to. Like, her claws are kind of long, so it's like she doesn't really even have to like bring them out. Like this morning, she walked over my foot, and I felt her claw just push into my toe.
Like
I was like,
Wolverine claws.
Sick.
Yeah.
I was like, cool. I got to go get you groomed because I was thinking about it, and I don't want her to like cut the puppy open.
She's not a tiger.
She is a tiger, dude.
But also too, like I said, we're gonna associate the dog with a lot of different. We're gonna try to cure all of its anxiety by associating it outside with with other people, other smells, other dogs. Not so much like take it to a park or a dog park, but make it so that when it sees other people and other dogs, it doesn't know what to do with itself. It's gonna be, oh, okay, cool, perfectly fine.
And the puppies,
I'll bring the puppy over.
and the puppies, like when we go to San Francisco in August, the puppy will be like maybe 3 months old, 4 months old. So she's still going to be really tiny. And I think that that's a really good time for her to introduce her to Pam. And, And
if Pam is like, nah, dude, we're good, you just take the dog back and you just spend a little bit of time here.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah. And
and if worst comes to worst, you can be like, hey, Len, can you watch the dog for a little bit?
Yeah.
She would love to watch the puppy.
Oh, yeah.
See, and the thing is, like, I don't think that Pam would hate having a puppy over.
But Pam doesn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing, though. Is like Pam she's never really been around dogs. And you're basically like, hey, Pam, here's a big version of you.
Yeah.
So like.
I just want to figure out, she's going to be like, why did I get fat?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, what is
this?
this?
A weird ass mirror.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can't imagine Pam being hostile.
Yeah.
She's a very timid cat. So she's like, oh, okay, cool, deuce. And
Yeah.
then she's going to go and hide under the bed or hide on your closet or something.
yeah, it's
That's
like
a good
her
point.
little hidey
Yeah,
spot.
because she's comfortable at your apartment. She knows the inside and out. So she's like, you know what? This thing doesn't know how to climb. I'm going to go hide.
Yeah. I'm going to hang out on the refrigerator and watch from above.
Yeah.
point.
So, and like I said, like if you're like, listen, this is just too much. It's stressing Pam out. Just bring the dog back and we'll just call Lynn. Hey, Lynn.
Yeah.
There's a spare key in the back. So.
Yeah. Or I'll just.
I think
Pam,
she has a spare key.
Yeah. Well, Pam can stay home for, like, by herself for the entire day.
Yeah.
She's a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just gets bored.
Yeah.
But I mean, if push came to shove like that, then I'd just bring the puppy back over and stay here.
It's one day.
Yeah, but I really, and I mean, if we're talking about how we want to train it, I would really like to train the puppy to where if I decide to go on a trip or something, you could just be like, hey, you're coming over to the house, and then the puppy's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Well, we're making it so the dog's not overstimulated when it comes out, because that was one of the things with Liberty, is because especially because in the beginning of her fundamental training and her early development, she never left the house.
Exactly.
You know, we never really took her out and about, so she associated home with being safe. And whenever we took her out of the house, she had a lot of anxiety because this is new. This is we were unsure. She didn't know what she just wanted her safe space, right? With this dog, we're going to be a lot more forward, progressive in terms of like, hey, you know, we're gonna take you out regularly. We're gonna give car rides regularly. We're gonna make sure that this behavior is a positive reinforcement versus a punishment.
Yeah. No, I think that's a smart idea.
Yeah. And then really quick, and I just want to say again, if I came across wrong as far as like saying that this dog was all of ours, I'm not putting any pressure on anybody. I just want everybody, you know.
You want everybody to feel included.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's where all I was.
Yeah. I don't feel excluded.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, it's gonna be, you know, I have a lot of hope for this dog. We've held it. It seems really seems like it's gonna be a good dog.
Yeah, the little like browner one, that one was like you put her down and she was like deuces, and she was like running around, and the big gray one was like, why are you moving so much?
Yeah. So then, you know, each dog is gonna have its own personality, and like I said, there's just the more we you know, hang out with the dog, the more we train the dog, the more we associate positive behaviors and positive reinforcement, the better it's going to be in the long run.
Yeah. Plus, like introducing her to Pam would probably be good for both of them.
Yeah, because she's gonna be like, oh, okay, cool, it's a cat.
Yeah.
You know, like she's not going to have that anxiety, or we're not going to have a negative association with other animals or other people.
Yeah.
So not to say that I don't want the dog to be like over friendly, but I don't want the dog to like bark continuously if somebody walks by.
Yeah.
Or you know, we have to make sure that there's a lot of positives more than negatives and things like that, and that's going to come down to us as being as owners, because you know the dog doesn't know any better. It's what we train the dog to think.
Yeah, and you know, like I said again, and you know, maybe I sound like a broken record, but I'm really excited to go into this with a sober mind. Yeah, you know, because I already know, like if I'm watching TV or working on a video or something, and the puppy's sleeping, as soon as the puppy wakes up, we're going outside.
Yeah,
you know?
Well, I mean, you have to make sure it's not too hot and stuff. But
no, I meant to go potty.
Oh, okay.
You know. Whereas with poor Liberty, it's like, oh, hey, Mom, I need to go to the bathroom. I'm like, I can't get off the couch, you know?
Yeah.
It's just, to me, it's like, I'm just excited because
it's a new puppy.
Yeah,
it's a new puppy and it's a new venture. And I did you see that TikTok I sent you?
No, I haven't. No.
Oh, it was about, it's going to make me cry, but I found this TikTok and it was about how when you get a new puppy after you lose your dog, and it's like such big shoes to fill, but and they're like that this dog's never going to know how big of shoes they have to fill.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I was telling Natasha. I was like, you know, she's like, aren't you excited to go look at new dogs? And no, but I was the same way. Like you said, there's just there. You know, I loved Liberty. I miss Liberty. She's my best friend, and it's really hard to think of the idea of getting another dog. But I was also the same way with Freedom. When we lost the dog before Liberty, I was the same way towards Liberty. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to pick Eddie out. I didn't even want to be there. It sucked. I hated it because, you know, Liberty was our dog, right? Yeah. And so, you know, it's definitely a hard thing to do. But I think we're making the right decision in getting it. Yeah.
And you know what? And the thing is like, I don't think it's easier for one person than the other. I think that we all just handle the situation differently. Sure. Because, you know, I handle it by being like, you know, I'm going to go buy the puppy everything. Yeah. You know, that's my love language. It's like, I want to go and, you know, I want to do it this way, but it's equally as hard. I just handle it differently.
Yeah. We all grieve differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You okay? You're looking a little squirrely.
No, I thought for some reason I was like, wait, where's my keys go? But they're probably over there next to my gloves.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just looking for that for a second.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you are a little fidgety.
I gotta pee.
Again?
I have 3 fucking cups in front of me. How do you think that I don't have to pee? I just drank a shit ton of tea, coffee, and water.
Did I tell you I walked in on Natasha's uncle pooping?
No.
So we were, I don't remember what.
I gotta pee.
Okay, well, hang on. Let me finish the story.
Well, why don't you go pee?
No, just hurry. Tell the story.
So I don't remember where
You
what
look
were
like
we
you're in
doing?
pain, Brandon.
I was with.
Where were you?
Oh, okay. So this is right after I got called the Whoville cheermeister.
Yeah.
So we just got done having lunch with Natasha's family, you know, her sister, her brother-in-law, her parents, and things like that. And so we went to go over to her aunt's house, and Natasha was like, "Oh, dude, I really have to pee." And I was like, "Oh yeah," and because she had said something, and I was just being a brat, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go run in and take the bathroom before you, and I'm just gonna sit on the computer or sit on the toilet and just answer emails and shit, just so she couldn't go to the bathroom." And she was like, "You better not." And I was like, "Okay, cool, check, gonna do it." And so we get in there, I take off my shoes real quick, and I run right into the bathroom to make sure she couldn't beat me. And her uncle was in there already, but he didn't lock the door.
Oh, fuck.
And I was like, "Oh," and I turn right around, and I just I run and I hide behind the couch. And Natasha could not stop laughing. She goes, "That's what you fucking get. That's what you get for being an ass."
So
That's a
did
good
the
point.
uncle come out and be like,
Oh, he thought it was the funniest thing. So he would mention it. And so like from the rest of the trip, he'd be like, "Hey, dude, I have to go to the bathroom if you want to come." Or he's like, "Hey, next time you want to wash my hair after," and just like goofy stuff like that. Like he was really funny.
That's so fucking.
Yeah, he was
great,
really
dude.
cool. So yeah, that was.
Huh.
But also too. So Natasha's cousin, her boyfriend walked in on him pooping too, or no, he was in the shower.
Oh,
He walked in
wow.
on him in the shower too. So it's like a rite of passage. So you don't get like the family's blessing unless you see Gibby, the uncle, somehow nude or vulnerable or something like that.
so when Natasha comes
yeah,
here,
Brandon will be pooping.
yeah, we'll have
you gotta
to,
poop with the doors open.
No,
like Papa style.
Yeah.
no, I'm good.
Yeah, because Papa used to poop with the doors open.
And then he
and
would
he'd
never
call you over.
to talk to you
Yeah. Hey.
and not understand why you were uncomfortable.
Yeah. Oh, I used to, because he used to have the solitaire game,
Yeah.
the little game
Yeah.
that he'd play when you're pooping, and
Yeah.
I would sit on, when we'd come over, I'd have to go to the bathroom. I'm like, "Oh, hey, look, solitaire," and I'd fuck it up every time. He was so pissed.
Yeah, he took his poop in solitaire very seriously.
Yeah. Oh, he was pissed.
Oh yeah, no, he some of the best dad talks
Yeah.
were with my dad taking a poop.
Yep.
It's the place to think.
Yeah,
That's where you're,
and
you're
it was
crystal
so
clear.
funny because he was like, "Yeah, no, we all shit."
Yeah, it's true. I do
So-
multiple times.
My stomach's been killing me the past couple days. I
Is
don't know
your-
what I ate.
I was gonna say, is your diet changed?
No, I just don't know what I ate.
Did you want some Imodium? I have
I just
Imodium
need to pee
AD.
real bad.
Okay. Well, you can tell them where to find us.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Okay, so you can reach out to me on all of my social media platforms at Gray Hair and Tattoos.
And then I am Don't Die Disco on all platforms, YouTube and Twitch.
And Robert is Robert Pike on Instagram and Sherbert on YouTube and TikTok. So, all right, glad to have Robert back, and we will see you on the next episode.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.